Good morning to our panelists. Good morning to our participants. This is the third in the series of the Global Media Alliance webinars that we are having. We are trying to ensure that the effect of COVID-19 is not so doesn't affect us so much so that we are crippled, we are not able to do anything. We are finding solutions to make our lives normal or live normally as we would. The COVID-19 has brought about a lot of physical restrictions and has affected so many businesses. And one of the ways that we think that we can help mitigate some of these effects is how to use digital innovations, especially in the area of business, merchandising, and of course, help our consumers find what they need as and when they do need them. We set the pace. We've had two webinars so far, and we are still building our momentum. And today we are going to be talking about the new normal, unlocking digital transformation in the retail industry. The program is live on Facebook and, of course, also live on ETV Ghana. I would like to once again thank our panelists for attending to us and are willing to share their experiences and expectations with us this morning. What we are going to do today is that all our panelists would have um, 15 minutes to do their presentation, and then our participants will ask questions pertaining to the issues that will be raised in the presentation. My name is Fatih Shaibu Ali, and we are going to have Denise Asare, who is a general manager of the Accra Mall. We are going to have Joseph Paddy, Public Relations Officer of Guta, Bennett Otu, PRO and Communications Manager of Jumia Ghana. Let me give you a brief background of our panelists today. Denise Asari, as I mentioned, the General Manager of Accra Mall, with over 5 years experience in retail, covering several industries. And before this, Denise was Accra Mall's Marketing Manager. She has a background in marketing and law from Nottingham Trent, and also an affiliate member of the Chartered Institute of Marketing UK. The Needs has effectively worked in strategically developing and implementing marketing strategies as well as property and facility management. And of course, Bennett Otu, PR and Communications Manager of Jumia Ghana. He is a public relations and communications manager in Africa's leading commerce company that is renowned for online retail services, online food delivery, logistics, and digital payment. Prior to his appointment as PR and Communications Manager, Bennett worked as country manager at Jumia Travel, an e-commerce venture within the Jumia Group that specialize in online travel and hospitality. He has also worked with the USAID funded Advance and FTF project, as well as EcoBank Ghana Limited. And then we have Mr. Joseph Paddy, Public Relations Officer of Guta. Joseph Paddy, as I've told you, is the Managing Director of Kingdom Auto Part. He serves as the Public Relations Officer for the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Guta. He has over 30 years working experience in the retail industry and has served as PRO for Guta for about 10 years now. Joseph Paddy has a degree in Human Resource Management from the Central University College and is now pursuing MA in Organizational Leadership and Governance at the University of Ghana. So the ground rules, all our panelists would have 15 minutes to do their PowerPoint presentation, what they will share with you participants. So you need to pay particular attention so that you would have your questions through, and then the panelists would attempt to answer those questions. After, we'll start with Bennett Otu, and then Denise Asare will follow, and then we'll have Mr. Joseph Paddy also give his presentation. Please note that you can type in your questions. There is a session on this Zoom where you can type in your questions, and then we'll compile them and ask them. Even as the presentations are going on, if you have questions, just type them in. Once they finish with the presentation, we would ask those questions. Thank you so much, Denise, for joining us. Thank you, Bennett. Thank you, Joseph Paddy, for joining us, and good morning to you once again. So, Bennett, you have the floor now. You can start with your presentation.
Thank you very much, Fatih. Okay, so good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the GMA webinar series. My name is Bennett Otu, PR and Communications Manager at Jumia, Ghana. So first of all, let me start by saying that the Jumia ecosystem, enabled by our strong online retail service, is well positioned to harness opportunities and help flatten the COVID-19 curve in Ghana and across Africa. Now, we are an e-commerce platform in Africa. We are built around 3 to 4 platforms, namely Jumia Marketplace, Jumia Food, Jumia Pay, and Jumia Logistics. So on our marketplace, we connect sellers who offer a wide range of different products, including smartphones, consumer electronics, fashion apparel, home appliances, etc. On our logistics service, we also facilitate the delivery of goods in a very reliable way. We put together a large network of leased warehouses, pickup stations, consumer drop-off points, etc. On our payment service as well, we are designed to offer safe, fast, and a convenient way for everyone to facilitate online payments. And our mission actually is that with over 1 billion people in Africa on the internet, we believe that e-commerce is geared to make people's lives easier. Now, let me quickly go to the topic of the day, online retail business amidst COVID-19, the boom and the opportunities that we have. Now, let's quickly look at what are the top benefits of online retail as of now. We can say that convenience and safety sits at the top of this particular discussion. And then also comes financial benefits, because we are in business to reap good profits and to do very well financially as well. Now, who benefits from this boom in online retail business? We can look at SMEs, small, medium scale enterprises that are doing very well in this space. We can look at top brands that actually were affected during COVID-19 and that have really made use of the online retail space as well. And then the very key stakeholders in this particular discussion are the customers who have actually benefited the most from this. Now, where can these opportunities be found? We can say that opportunities in online retail can be found on basically the internet, but through smartphones, through our laptops, on the web, and also through social media. Now, let's ask ourselves, first of all, has there even been a boom? So global retail sales were expected to dip this year, but this has also materialized over time, especially in the brick and mortar stores all over the world. But in the online space, we have seen that certain trends have come about due to specific categories. So online retail of homemade goods and groceries have gone up by 147%, which is a very high figure. Now, if we look at the other side of the coin, travel and automotive industry has also dipped by 80% because of lockdown. People are not able to travel, people are not able to do business in that industry. Now, technologies also keep growing, although there are challenges with production. So you understand that because everybody is now ordering stuff through their mobile phones and laptops, there's a need to come up with apps and different platforms and softwares that would enable us to use these things effectively. Now, in Ghana, there has been a total increase in the number of users, especially with online on-demand services such as food and digital payments, because during lockdown, everybody needs to eat, we need to buy groceries, and we're not allowed to go out. So everybody jumped on the online retail space, especially when it came to food, when it came to groceries and digital payments. Now, also, there has been a significant increase in traffic, especially on social media, as customers and stakeholders reach out for more information and also to lodge complaints about their orders and the deliveries and all of that. Now, both internet and smartphone penetration has increased over the years. As of January this year, the internet penetration in Ghana was at 48%, And due to the high number of smartphones and internet social media users, we anticipate that internet penetration would definitely be on the high. Now let's look at certain opportunities that we see in the online retail space. Now, online retail education is very important. I mean, a lot of people have this preconception that an online retail business is very difficult to start, but here lies an opportunity where, because of the global issues that we have because of the pandemic, it's good to actually let people know that it's very easy, it's very affordable, it's very good to start your own online retail store. It's not expensive at all, because people have that notion or that assumption that it's very hard and it's risky and it takes a lot of money to start. Actually, it's not. Also, the location independence, the fact that you can start your own online platform. You don't necessarily need to have an office space or a shop. You don't necessarily need to have all your employees or people working with you in one space. You can actually have all your fulfillment services on one side, your customer service team on another side, and then your actual headquarters can also be on another side. So everybody can make use of this space. Education is key. We need to let people know that online retail is good and it's not actually expensive to start. Now, another opportunity that we can see here is the aggregation of niche products. So we realized that in the past, if I need to get maybe a Nike sneaker or an Adidas sneaker or a t-shirt, I need to go to specific brand shops. Now, all these products put together, fashion items, can be found on online retail platforms such as Jumia, such as Amazon. When you go on these platforms, you can see that all these niche products have been aggregated under certain categories. So when you go to fashion, you can access all of these brands. And then when new products come as well, it's okay, it's good for customers to be able to easily locate these ones. Now, talking about niche retailers and small manufacturers as well, there's an overlap here. There's an opportunity for very small manufacturers, the SMEs, as I was talking about, people who are in the online space, online retail space, very small manufacturers to tap into the broader market where there are niche retailers who are ready to sell these products. So there's a platform where all of these things can come together, because the web is changing the traditional distribution channels that we have. Then we go to customer loyalty. Now, this is a very important opportunity that online retail has brought to all of us in the space, because building your loyalty into the process, I mean, knowing your customer and your customer knowing you, your customer being able to return to you is very good. Also, customer segmentation, knowing what your customer actually wants, tailoring your experience, the experience on your website, on your platform to suit whatever type your customer is. So if your customer is one that needs groceries a lot, you can channel your advertisements and your boosts and everything to fit into that customer's perspective. Now, one very important opportunity that we need to tap into is the opportunity of having conversion rate optimization. Now, most people are focusing on traffic generation in this period. Most online retail businesses are focusing on traffic generation. How can I get a lot of people on my website or on my platform to shop on my platform? But the actual key here is converting all those people that you're able to drive, all the traffic that you're able to drive on your website. Converting. How do you convert? By making the user experience very, very simple, by making the checkout experience very simple. On a lot of platforms, you realize that, okay, I've ordered for a lot of stuff, but checking out is a very difficult process. How do I even pay for it? How do I even get these items delivered to me? So making that particular system very easy, just by a few clicks or a few steps, you can order your item, put in your details, and it gets delivered to you. And that is something that we should be very, very mindful of. Now, mobile commerce is also an opportunity that has come about because of this pandemic. Now, in the past, most people go on the web, they go online to try and shop for items and all of that. Now, with just like a few clicks on your mobile device, you can actually purchase an item, sometimes even with a scan of your finger with QR codes and all of that. You can just purchase an item instantly, pay for it, and then you move. Now, this is something that I believe Denise might share a bit more insight on when she has the platform. But being able to combine online and offline practices and systems, because in this day and age, we can't just stick to one platform and say, okay, I'm doing online retail and that's it. Although it has a lot of benefits, it has a lot of advantages, it's okay, it's good to mix it up because there's an opportunity in combining both the online space and the offline space to maximize the potential that this industry has. Now, finally, I want to talk about personalization. Now, having an online brand or doing business online or doing retail online gives the business an opportunity to look into gathering information about demographics, about the purchasing behavior, waitlist data, click-through history, and everything that concerns the consumer or the customer. So based on these interests, then you can also recommend certain items. So for instance, you come on a platform based on the fact that you've put in the comment box or in the details section that, oh, you live in this area, it can tell the business that, okay, in this area, there's limited access to A, B, and C. So if I'm advertising or I'm promoting certain brands or certain goods, I know what to promote to these customers. And then that helps us to develop or grow. Now, smarter merchandising. You go on certain websites and you find out that they recommend to you, they say, okay, customers who bought, let's say, Gary also purchase sugar because you know that Gary works hand in hand with sugar. So it helps you as a customer also to decide. Maybe you've not planned on buying sugar, but based on the fact that you've gone on the website, you've seen this, it gives you an opportunity to know what other people are buying and it helps you to move. Pricing and bundling as well. So online, you have the opportunity to bundle a couple of products together, related products together, and decrease these prices, change your inventory anytime you want. It's very difficult when you have like a physical shop to change your inventory every now and then, to adjust your prices every now and then, because people are working in, day out, and it's difficult. But when you have an online platform, if you're doing business online, you have a retail platform, it's easy to adjust, to run promotions, and to quickly adapt and change your inventory and improve upon it. Now, in conclusion, let me say that these are not normal times that we are in, and the online retail provides great opportunity for businesses to increase their business, and then to offer safety and convenience to its staff and customers, to save more on some operational costs. Also for customers, safety and convenience, as well as pricing, due to price wars and direct competition from vendors, present the best opportunities for them. Now, I would say that it doesn't really matter whether we think this can be done or it cannot be done. The fact of the matter is that if this is not done, if the opportunities are not explored, if we don't explore these opportunities and we don't take this very seriously, then we are done. Just a reminder to everybody that these are still serious times. All the restrictions have been eased. We need to stay safe, observe the necessary precautions, wash your hands regularly under running water with soap, use sanitizers, use your face mask when you're going out, observe social distancing, and all of that. And then finally, if you need to be out there, that's fine. But if you don't really need to be out there, you can stay wherever you are, stay home, and companies such as Jumia are here to help you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Bennett. Bennett spoke on the topic online retail business amidst COVID-19, the boom and opportunities. You can keep your questions coming now. I think I will start. You did mention, Bennett, that food and consumables demand have seen a significant rise. Would you say that Ghanaians have bought into online shopping and understand the processes, understand the challenges that come with them?
Yes, definitely. So in the past, e-commerce came into Ghana a couple of years ago. Online retail came into Ghana a couple of years ago, but people, Ghanaians, consumers, didn't really understand the concept and the need and the importance of this and the challenges that these platforms actually pose. Now, with COVID-19 in the picture, when the restrictions came and there was lockdown and we cannot go anywhere, we cannot access any of our favorite shops, we cannot walk into any shop because of social distancing, because we needed to stay safe, Ghanaians began to adapt and to understand the fact that, oh yes, I can pick up my phone, download an app, place an order, and get it delivered to me at my doorstep. And the challenges that come with this as well keep evolving per day. So today, there are platforms like Jumia that allow you to pay on delivery. Now, the challenges that come with this is that you would have to pay cash sometimes when the delivery agent brings the item. Now, in an attempt to reduce the spread of COVID-19, what do we do? What do we do to avoid that interaction between the delivery agent and the consumer to reduce the risk of COVID-19. So we as a company decided, okay, now let's do digital payments. So when the rider brings the item to you, when the delivery agent brings the item to you, instead of paying cash, you can still pay via mobile money when the delivery agent gets there. So we limit that challenge as well. But yes, Ghanaians have really adapted and have accepted it. We've seen an increase in the number of users on our platform, the number of app downloads that we have, people have downloaded our apps, and the number of interactions that we have per day on these platforms.
You did mention the challenges, so let me just chip this one in. You mentioned that Jumia has introduced pay on delivery for what is a particular challenge with that? Because when I go online, most of the brands that do online sales and all that mention that sometimes in Ghana especially, you deliver the item, you get to the location and the receiver is nowhere to be found. Is that a real challenge?
Yes, location is one of the biggest challenges facing e-commerce in Africa. And although there are certain platforms like the Google app and all of that that really sometimes supports to make it very easy to find these customers, it's very difficult in certain parts of the country to locate customers when they shop. So companies have brought about technologies or systems that have ensured that these days it's easier to find with the Ghana Post digital address systems and GPS trackers and GPS devices with our riders and embedded in mobile phones and smartphones and all of that. It's easier to identify or find customers. Also, taking the customer's data is very important in the early stages. So when you sign up or when you want to place an order, we need to get the exact location, maybe an office or a complex, a school or a church that is close to your house. That makes it easier. So when the delivery agent gets to that place, the landmark, then he can give you a call to say, okay, I am here, and then maybe you can meet me there. Also, we've solved that problem by bringing about pickup stations. So rather than come deliver to your house, maybe there's a pickup station in Dansoman or in East Legon that is at a central place that everybody knows. So rather than walk or drive the whole distance to go pick your item up from the warehouse or somewhere else, it's been brought closer to you where there's a pickup station very close to your house. You can just walk in at any time, specific scheduled times to avoid people crowding there. So maybe you are giving 8 a.m. to come pick up your order. By 8 a.m., your item is ready. You go to that place and you can pick it up.
Well, I want to find out from your point, not the consumer. The consumer has ordered an item, you agree on the day of delivery and all that, you get the location right, but you get there, you need to call the consumer so that they would either come out of their houses to the gate and pick it, and then there is no answer. What happens then?
Okay, so as a company that has learned over the years through some of these experiences, we've been able to come up with certain strategies that ensure that 99% of the time when the delivery agent gets to the meeting point or the location of the consumer is ready to pick up the item. For instance, what we do is that a couple of days before your item is delivered, when you place the order, we keep interacting with you via SMSs, via emails and messages. So we confirm your order first. Your order is processed. You can track your order in real time from our app and from our platform when you log in. And also we let you know that the delivery agent will call you on the morning of your delivery. So let's say you ordered an item, you are supposed to receive it today. This morning, the delivery agent will call you and tell you, okay, I'll bring your item today. Where can I locate you? So maybe you used your home address, but today you won't be home. We need to find out from you where you'll be and if it's convenient to deliver it there. So there's communication between the delivery agent and the consumer every step of the way, which ensures that by the time the item arrives at that specific location, it's easier to communicate and it's easier for you to pick up the item.
Well, Gilbert Bandura has a direct question to Jumia. He's asking, as an insurer, how do I collect insurance premiums using your Jumia Pay platform?
Okay, that's a very good one. So Jumia Pay is a platform that allows digital payments. We are still enrolling some other features on that platform as well. So insurance is one that is really key to us. We are working on that at the moment. At the moment, it's not feasible to do claims on insurance premiums on our platform. But in the next few weeks, these are some of the new innovations and technologies that we are adding to our system. So Gilbert, don't worry. there'll be communication out there when the platform is ready for you to utilize in terms of insurance claims.
Well, an anonymous attendee is saying that prior to COVID-19, I use Jumia frequently. In recent times, I am unable to do so. All attempts to pay by mobile money fails, and I receive emails saying my bank rejected my transaction. Please, is there a challenge with your payment platform currently?
Okay. Challenge, yes, I must admit. Challenge because of numbers. So we all attest to the fact that at this particular moment, there are lots and lots of people using these services, and especially with online platforms and with digital payment systems, when there's a spike in numbers, usually there's a challenge and there's a downtime. Now, that was a challenge before. We've been able to mitigate this challenge, and payments are ongoing. Now, we work very closely with MTN Mobile Money and with so many other banks. So if you try or attempt to pay via mobile money and it doesn't go through, quickly our customer service team will contact you and offer other payment platforms that you can use. So yes, we admit sometimes there are challenges, but most of the time the payments do go through. And then if the payment doesn't go through, our team is on hand to assist you to make payments.
So I want to ask this question. Online platforms such as yours, I haven't seen a lot in Ghana, but online platforms using Facebook and Instagram, a lot of them, a lot of people have Instagram shops. And because of that, a lot of people or scammers are also trying to penetrate and take over. How do people, genuine people, ensure that scammers do not use their brands and their names to scam consumers?
Okay, so this is one question that keeps coming: security in terms of finances, in terms of payments, fraudulent activity. Now, I must confess that sometimes because of the ease of using these platforms, I mean, it's open to everybody to create an account, to list on there as a seller and do anything on Facebook and Instagram and all of that. So it's a bit challenging to try to mitigate these things. But the best way out is, before you make any transaction, make sure that you are dealing with a very credible institution. For instance, if you want to buy on Jumia, there are official lines, phone numbers, email addresses on our website that you can contact if you are in doubt. We have official social media pages that you know, we advertise these things on our Facebook, on our Twitter, on our Instagram. So you know these platforms. So if anybody comes to you and says that, okay, I work for Jumia Pay, you need to authenticate this by asking questions. Go on the website, the official numbers that are there. There's a chat box on the website as well that you can chat directly with us, and you can find out as to whether these things are genuine. Also, we do not ask for anybody to collect payment on our behalf. So if anybody says that, oh, you can send it to my mobile money number and I'll make the payment for you, no, it doesn't work that way. Jumia has official payment platforms that we use. We have official mobile money numbers. We have official bank transfer numbers, and we have a digital payment service where you can easily go on the Jumia Pay platform and then you can make your payments through the platform. So it shouldn't be a big deal at all if you want to make a payment on Jumia or any platform. Just make sure that you are dealing with the right people. If possible, place a call to whoever is selling, whatever number you see there, place a call and verify that you are making payments to the right person. I'm struggling to hear you, Fatih. I'm struggling to hear you. Can you hear me? Yeah, but I can't hear you. Nope, nope.
one final question that I will want to ask
Okay.
Bennett. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yes.
So I want to find out, do you think there is room for other brands to penetrate the online space, or you think that it is saturated in Ghana at the moment?
Okay, I don't think it's saturated at all. I think that we've only scraped, I think, 1% of the surface when it comes to online retail space or e-commerce in Ghana, because I mean, we look at the opportunities out there, and we look at the platforms out there and what they are doing, and the new innovations and technologies that are coming up, and we realize that Africa is still an untapped market. Ghana is still an untapped market when it comes to e-commerce, and it's about time that all of us stakeholders jump on board and make it easier. I mean, today it's easy for you to open a shop. If you have a few clothes to sell, it's easy for you to open a shop online. It's easy for you to list with e-commerce platforms such as Jumia, to do business with e-commerce platforms as well, online retail platforms, and to sell. So I think that, yes, there's opportunity for everybody to jump on it. It's not saturated at all. I mean, coming on board actually gives it a bit of a boost because there's actual competition. Businesses need to do better to tap into the customer base, to tap into new innovations and technologies, and to make sure that life actually is made better through the use of the internet. So yes, there's opportunity, there's a space, we can tap into it. It's not saturated at all.
I did say that was my last question, but given the key learning points or areas that we want our participants to take home, which also talks about how the retail business can thrive in post-pandemic world, I want to ask, if an online business wants to be listed on Jumia, what is the person supposed to do? What is the process? This should be my final question.
Okay. So two things. First of all, there's a space on our website that allows you to fill in a short questionnaire with your details. And then once we have that detail, our customer service team or our team that is in charge of that will give you a call and set you up. Now, because of the issue about authentic products and all of that, we have to go through a lot of quality assurance processes to make sure that every item that is listed on Jumia is of good quality. And then we are dealing with trusted brands that you will not have issues with. Now, on the other side of the coin, because of the issue that we just raised about fraudulent activity, we don't want to open it up for everybody to be able to just contact you to say, okay, I can list you on Jumia, pay this amount, or do this and let me know. So what we can do is that the easy way out is for you to either send us a quick email on the email addresses on our website, or to call us on the phone numbers on our website as well, or to reach us, reach out to us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and just let us know, I have shop A, I want to list on Jumia, and I need you to list me up. And our team, which are specialized in that regard, will contact you and will set you up. It's an easy and seamless process that you can go through.
Thank you very much, Bennett Otu, for your presentation. But as we go along, if anybody has questions, when we get to the final comments part, we would let you answer some of these questions. Bennett Otu is PRO, Communications Manager, Jumia Ghana. We now move on to Mr. Joseph Paddy. He's Public Relations Officer of Kuta. He's going to speak to the topic, the risks and mitigation factors on the local retail business in Ghana. Hello, Mr. Joseph Paddy.
Hi.
Hi. Please, the floor is yours now for your presentation. You have 15 minutes, after which our attendees would ask you a few questions based on your presentation.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your viewers and your listeners. As you already know where I'm coming from, I'm from the informal sector, so everything we do is informal. So you bear with me. I'm having a little challenge putting my PowerPoint on the screen. I don't know whether because where I'm coming from. Anyway, but like we all know, the COVID-19 pandemic is expected to have is it? Can you hear me?
Hello, Joseph, please, if you have a speaker on, if you can turn it off, because we are getting feedback. We can hear you.
Is it okay now?
Yes. Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we
Right.
can hear you.
Yes. Like I was saying, the COVID-19 pandemic is expected to have an adverse impact on most countries of the world. That's globally. Governments around the world are implementing various physical measures to mitigate this adverse effect and provide relief for businesses and households, such as we remember the MBSSI. The MBSSI that came into place recently, and then government taking care of water bills and electricity of the country, of the people, which is a welcome news for business community. But coming to do business with online.
Hello, Joseph. If you can position yourself well. If you can position yourself well.
Is it better now?
Yeah. No. Yes, this should be okay. This is okay.
Okay. Can I get a slide? Okay. Sitting straight. Is it better now?
Yes, this works.
Okay, right. So, yeah, so like I was saying, so government is looking to mitigate some of the hardship that a trading community is going to go through. So they came out with this MBSSI program. The government took care of water bills and then electricity bill for households, which is a welcome news. But despite the role of the SMEs in Ghanaian economy, we have a financial constraint that we face in operation, which is daunting. This is that had been the mitigate negative impact on the development and also limit the potential to drive the national economy as expected. No country can grow without the informal sector. Every country, even the developed countries, have informal sectors in their economy. But when we talk about online businesses, and as the first speaker spoke well, which we all welcome it, but there are challenges and there are risks involved in online business, which we, the business community, always have a challenge with that. And one of the, increase in exposure is moving your business to online portals, increase your risks. These are some of the things we're thinking about. We're looking about system availability. For example, let's talk about my members who are from Shweshwe, somewhere in the eastern region. System availability, internet access. If you want them to do online business, would they get internet access as far as those places? I remember traveling from here to Akosombo, somewhere along the line. It's even difficult to get access to internet. So the system availability is what we're talking about. And one of the things too that the business committee, we are looking at some of the risk factors is as a result of privacy issues, where as a business committee, if you put your web or your wares on the online, what are the privacy that you're going to have? It has been a serious challenge with our members. And then like the first speaker said, customer dispute. When you buy a product, you buy a goods from a shop or online, and the goods is posted to you, and that's not the right item you're looking for, and then you return, how do you get your money back? So it's also a challenge. So the customer dispute, how do you settle those disputes? In this country, they tell you they give you 1 week guarantee, and after the 1 week, when you return the goods, it's not going to be accepted. You did the online business. So when it happens that you have a dispute with a customer, how do you settle those disputes? These are some of the things our members are looking for before they go online. They look at all these risk aspects. Like they talk about credit card fraud that most people use to come and buy their goods, and at the end of it all, they are being invited by the police, and also the end to end. What is the guarantee? What's the security that these online portals can give to we business community? That when we do business online, our money is secured. Recently, a gentleman came to buy goods and he wanted to pay with Momo. And then this one customer said, no, I don't want any online payment. I want cash, because I hear that people can hack into your Momo and take out all your money from your account. So these are some of the challenges and the risks that business community are facing. I earlier said internet security. How secured the internet are. Because the informal sector do business all over the country. And if somebody want to, for example, if I'm in Accra here and I want to order some goods from the north, and I'm going to pay online, I say I'm going to put the money into your Momo. The cost of the goat is about maybe 10,000, or a cow is about 10,000 Ghana cedis. But there's a limit of Momo, how to transfer your money. I think you can't do more than 5,000 a day. So in this way, it's very challenging and difficult to do business online. So these are some of the few challenges that we have as a business community, that the trading community are having those. But in other words, it's faster, it's easier to do business online. But these are the risk aspect is what people are really looking at. And we also want to see how best we can mitigate all those risk factors. We're looking at education. How do those people who put on those portals educate members how to use those, and to make sure that they understand and appreciate the fact that their money is safe, their business are safe, and there are no challenges to that effect. We also have to understand, we all know the firewares, how to protect. They need to put protection of, have them in place before you open a business online. So what are the measures these people who have these online portals are going to put in place before anybody can hook on to their online businesses? We have to know all those protective measures that they have put in place. We think they are limited protection measures, because most times we hear people do away with people's money because there recently have been fraud with this Momo business. Somebody will call. I remember once upon a time a lady came to me and said a friend promised to give him some money. He's going to clear some goods at the port, and he sent a Momo only for him to be seen that it's a fraud. So it's that is why people always want to do face-to-face business. But in this modern world, once we are getting away with face-to-face business, the fear of also coming online is a serious challenge to the business community. And that's what we want to see before we move. But in this era where there's this pandemic that face-to-face is very challenging, it will be the best thing to do an online business. And we also identify a problem where we're looking at now, most people are going to go online. How do government, because government need revenue to develop the country, how do government get its revenue from this online business? Me sitting here, I buy from eBay and I buy from most online companies. But how do government get those needed revenue to develop the country? So we are saying that online business is bringing a shortfall to government revenue because we can't identify them, we can't put them in the basket so that we can also charge them for needed revenue to develop the country. So though it's a good thing, but let's also look at the risk aspect and then the challenging aspect, because if all trading go to online now, I don't know how we're going to change them to get their needed revenue for the country. So it's something that we all need to collaborate and elaborate on and think through the line and see how best, as much as we can help the trading community, we can also help government to maximize the needed revenue for the country. So it's a welcome news. It's a good news, and I appreciate what we are doing, what people are doing for the country at the moment. But let's look at all these factors and see what we can. And then we also identify a cost component of doing online business, the cost aspect. Before one can put something on a portal, how much is supposed to pay? No, even buying credit is also a challenge. It's the cost of buying data is a challenge. I know some few friends, when they are going to sleep in the night, they put their data off. I said, why do you put your data? I said, my data is running. It's expensive to buy the data. So these are all the things that we think should be addressed. It is part of a concern to the trading community. So we want to find out what measures are these online portals are doing to educate members that when they come online, they are secured. Their goods are secured, because it takes away middlemen. That is fine, which we all appreciate, because middlemen add to the cost of doing business, because somebody comes to buy, there's a middleman. But when you eliminate all these middlemen, what is the security that where my money is going to is going to the right person. When the goods that, and one of, before I end up here, one of the serious challenges we find out too is that, most of the time we order our goods abroad. So people want to go and see, identify, and purchase. But this is the case, you are here, you see the picture, you order, and the goods come in, then it's not the right goods you are looking for. What happens? You have to reship it, and it's a cost to the business community and the businessman. So if we don't look at all these factors, people will still want to go and identify and see the commodity before they purchase. But if we can be guaranteed that what we ask for is what is coming into the system, because it will be difficult for you to just order a 20-footer container of an item and only for you to come and then the goods you order for is not what you're looking for, and then you have to reship it. It's going to be look at the time factor and the cost component. So it's a serious challenge. So about all said and done, doing online business is a welcome news, but it was going to take us some few time and few days and few years for us to grasp into that. Yeah, so these are some of the few things I can share with you this morning that the business community is looking for.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joseph Paddy, PRO officer for GUTA. Just a few questions. I want to ask, you've mentioned a lot of challenges, which from my point of view, all you need is education, and Global Media Alliance, I'm sure, is available if you want to organize some education for members on how to tap into this huge potential that the online space presents. Now, you were talking about how security and how to make sure that your money does not fall into the hands of scammers and all that. When we talk about online, we mostly think about websites and portals, but you can do online business via WhatsApp, you can do online business via Facebook, via Instagram. For your members who are skeptical or afraid of what the online space presents, they can start with just advertisement, not necessarily posting your stuff there for people to buy and send, but for advertisement's sake, to say that if you are looking for tie and dye, this is where my shop is. So there are a lot of people on Facebook. So this is where my shop is. So physically, the person is going to walk into your shop and make the purchases, but you are advertising on Facebook. You are advertising on Instagram. Also, you can rely on existing customers. You have a customer maybe in Cape Coast. The person has been doing business with you forever, but each time they would have to pick a car and come all the way to Accra to do that business. If the person is able to communicate with you, since trust has been built, and then you just ship or deliver the items to them, that is still a form of online trading. So maybe GUTA would like to do education in that direction and look to it and build from there and get to the point where probably people will be, or your members will be comfortable trading online. But let me ask Bennett here, since you mentioned what some of these online portals have for some of your members. Bennett, if you can hear me, what can you do for GUTA members, for example?
Okay, Fatih, thank you very much. I think you answered that in your submission. First of all, there has to be the education to not only GUTA members, but to the general public as well. Education in terms of what are you actually doing on e-commerce platforms. If you are attempting to buy and you are buying an item overseas or an item that you've not seen, and you're ordering thousands and thousands of products, it's good that you actually look critically at the dimensions of what you're ordering, because every item, especially on Jumia that we list, every item has its descriptions, its specifications. So for instance, these days there are seat covers for sofas and living room furniture, right? Because the display picture on there is the sofa itself, it's easy for you to misinterpret it to be that, oh, the sofa is being sold for maybe 20 Ghana cedis. Whereas in actual fact, the item name says that seat cover, and the description shows you the actual dimension of the seat cover, the color and everything. So it's up to us to educate the public and to educate GUTA on the use of these platforms. I mean, it's good to list on there, it's good to shop on there, but it's good to know how to do it and why you are doing it, and the precautions you need to take as an individual, as a customer, to ensure that you do not order for an item that comes and you don't like it. Also, apart from the descriptions, he mentioned mobile money security and fraud and all of that. These days, based on certain government interventions and the mobile money stakeholders, the Vodafone Cash and MTN Momo and Tigo Cash and all of that, they have come up with very strict policies with the aid of government to say that anybody that registers with a Momo account should do so with a valid ID card. So now you cannot register for a Momo account without your valid ID card. Now, if you are paying for an item, let's say on Jumia, or maybe Kofi Menu is selling a fridge to you, and Kofi Menu says, okay, this is my mobile money number. You need to verify and match the two. So Kofi Menu's number is this, is the name on the account Kofi Menu. If the name on the account is Kofi Menu, then you have sure motivation to go ahead and pay for that item. So I think that the security that's being provided here should come from both ends. There should be education from the businesses as well. Like, for instance, Jumia should educate the customers on how to use these platforms and how to mitigate their risks. But then again, the customer should also absorb some kind of responsibility when it comes to payments, because it's your money that's going out there. So you need to be sure that the account you are paying to is a credible account of the company you are dealing with.
Okay, Mr. Paddy, I have a question for you. With the challenges that you raised, it is clear that most of your members would rather, those who are into importation, if they import from Turkey, from China, whichever country, they go there physically to inspect the goods and make sure they are shipped before they get back to Ghana. COVID-19 affected this process because clearly they cannot travel.
Yeah, it has. And especially those who do consolidation. No, it's not everybody who has the capital to get a 20-footer or a 40-footer. So some of them, about 4 or 5 people, they go and do consolidation, and the consolidation, they go to the market and pick. And those people, with this pandemic that has COVID-19, is a serious challenge to them. Some of them have run out of their goods. Some of them, their stock has really diminished. So it has been a challenge. So what we intend doing, if we are not careful, we're going to go back to where the stronger states and the weaker ones goes out of business. So what we intend doing is that they still want to do the consolidation whilst they are here. But like I said earlier, when their fear is that the needed goods we're looking for, you know, because I remember somebody ordered something from China only for him to get here, and then it was a total what he saw, the picture he saw on the, let me use the word, let's say Jumia, and you saw the picture, you liked it only for the item to come, and what you saw on the picture, I don't know whether it's a picture deceptive, was totally different from what they got. So that is most of the fear. The fear factor is that am I going to get what I really requested for? So seriously, for now, you could see that there are shortage of goods in the market because those who do consolidation are finding it even difficult to do that. And then secondly, some of us, when we go, we have some credit line, like 3 months, 90 days credit line, 120 days credit. But because of this COVID pandemic, they are also struggling, they are suffering. So the man who is giving you 90 days is also having a challenge. So it's a difficult. So what we intend to do is to look within. And looking within, we're trying to look how the banks can help our members. You know, recently we proposed to the banks that even those who are owing them, they should give them some time span instead of asking them to come and pay. Maybe give them some 3 or 4 months to come and settle, because we are not in normal times. So looking within, we are looking at interest rate, how much the banks are going to assist, because we are not competitive. If you compare our rate to that of our competitors, even our neighboring countries, where some have about 10% interest rate, the highest might be 15%, compared to that of ours, about 27%. The trader goes for that 27%. It's even difficult to break even or maximize profit. So in looking within, we want to engage the bank and see how best they can do to reduce the interest rate for our members. Because if you compare the reference rate to the interest rate, we think it's on the higher side. And as much as we are not in normal times, it will be extremely difficult. But like the online business, ordering from online, one of the advantage we have here is that it's going to cut down on cost, in the sense that if I'm going to fly to China, pay about $2,000 for, or US, pay about $2,000 for my plane fare, I can add that one onto my capital, which is an advantage to us anyway. But then we're looking at where the goods that you ask for is the right goods that has come into the system. And most times, I remember once upon a time, I ordered some products from Dubai, only for the goods to come. I still have that goods in my stock, because only for the goods to come. And that what I asked for was not what was delivered. And then I was asked to reship it. And going to check for the reshipment is going to cost me about $2,000 to reship it. So what is the point in this, to reship it and then get the right one? So these are some of the challenges for our members, especially those who do consolidation. It's not a little difficult for them, because they have capital about $10,000, $20,000, $10,000. That cannot do a whole container load. That they do consolidation and they go on the market and pick. They pick 5 year, 6 year, 10 year, and 12 year. Is a really challenge for them. And if they buy all these products online, maybe they buy 5 from this person, 10 from this person, how to consolidate it and take it to the port of departure for them to load it is a real challenge. Yeah.
We haven't really heard of any shortages, real shortages of some of the items that your members do sell. How have they been able to ensure that there is still supply for those who are demanding some of these items?
Yes, there were some back stock, some have stock. So they are still depending on those stocks. But if those stocks runs out, that's where we're going to find the challenges. But we hope that before the stocks runs out, because we are going to go into the Christmas festivities, people started buying and stocking. So that was the advantage we got. And now the giants in the market too are doing the 40-footer and the 50-footer containers. So that 40-footer and 20-footer containers are still coming. So we are still having some goods coming. Only that human beings are not traveling, but some goods are still coming. But which means those who do consolidation now have to depend on those who are doing containers. So they go to them and go and pick and then sell to the market. So, but then they cannot travel and go and do their consolidation. So they are now depending on the big ones in the market who are bringing the 40-footer and the 60-footer to also sell and make a little profit. Yes.
Let me remind our attendees that you can send in your questions to any of the panelists, and then we'll ask them as and when they do come. On the floor now is Mr. Joseph Paddy, and you can keep your questions coming. And we are preparing to have Denise Asare to give her presentation. But before that, let me ask this final question of Mr. Paddy, and then we would move on to Denise. But please do keep your questions coming. This is about us. It's about us as consumers and, of course, as business owners. So please send your questions through and our experts would answer them. Mr. Paddy, my final question to you. We know that restrictions have been eased. People can now go to town and buy a few things, but still a lot more people are afraid of going into town. How has this affected sales back home in Ghana?
Yes, it is. The fear factor is still there. People are still not sure of the current condition, so they are trading cautiously. So if you come to the market now, even the human traffic is not there. So it has slowed down business. Sales I've done some few research and identified that some sales have gone down because people are not really coming to the market space. So business are slow, but we hope that we'll be able to, like the gentleman said, education, to educate our members that if you adhere to all the protocols, you'll be able to move without a fear. Put on your masks, wash your hands, do the needed. When you're able to do that, we believe that you'll be safe and secured in a business area. But we also see some few areas where the protocols are not being adhered to. The crowds are still there. We don't know what is the reason, but then we hope that in a short moment or a few times we'll be able to overcome this fear factor. People are still skeptical and afraid that the COVID is still with us, and so they are treading cautiously. So if you come to the market, especially when you drive to Abossey-Okai, where we have huge traffic, now it's a free flow traffic. You can move within 3, 4, 5 minutes. You're able to cross through Abossey-Okai and go to wherever you are going. Compared to previous, where people find it difficult to even drive through Abossey-Okai, Kantamanto, and Okanshin. Compared to now, even when you're walking through town, the traffic jam is not there like we see before. So people are still afraid. People are still not sure of their safety. So they are just treading cautiously. And even some of our members too are treading cautious. They come to the market, maybe they choose twice a week or thrice a week, and then do the needed and they go back. So we're hoping that we'll be able to appreciate and understand that COVID has come. Like, what do we do to mitigate it and make sure business moves and business grows? I think we all need to think through that line. But still, the fear factor is still there, and business has been slow because of that reason.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joseph Paddy. We will now move on to Denise Asare. She is General Manager, Accra Mall. She is going to address the topic, the impact of COVID-19 on modern trading business and transformation thereafter. Denise, thank you, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Fatty. Just give me a second while I share my screen. Okay, so good morning, everybody. My name is Denise Asare. I am the General Manager or the Centre Manager for Accra Mall, which is proudly managed by Royal Ghana Progressive Property People. I want to say thank you to the Global Media Alliance for opening the floor for us to have this informative discussion. Just before we start, I want to be able to take you through what I'm going to be discussing with you today. We'll start off with a bird's eye view of the retail landscape in Ghana. Then I will take you through what I like to call the Accra Mall story. And then we'll talk briefly about the impact of COVID-19 and just give you a short opinion on what I believe the future of retail will be. Okay, so if we look at the retail environment in Ghana, what we can see is that first of all, we have a huge landscape, which we can see that retail takes so many different facets in it. So, for example, if we look at it, currently we have 9 malls in Ghana, and one that's currently being built in Kumasi. We can confidently say that Accra Mall birthed the culture of shopping malls in Ghana and was the first mall to have many firsts. So, for example, it was the first mall to have a state-of-the-art 5-hall cinema. Retail, especially in shopping centres, attract high foot traffic. Currently, Accra Mall used to pull in 18,000 visitors daily on a weekday and 22,000 to 25,000 visitors on a weekend. We can see that e-commerce has come in the last few years to challenge the brick and mortar retail. And I'd like to say congratulations to Bennett and his team for Jumia and other innovations like that. We look at the retail landscape. The retail landscape has modernized in itself in the sense that it has birthed international brands that are comfortably trading in the Ghanaian environment. These huge players include people like ShopRite, again, your Mr. Prices, Burger King, your Pizza Hut and Chicken Inn. And if I like to give you a bit of insight in the retail landscape, I can tell you that at least the spend per head in the retail environment is about 35 Ghana cedis per head in a month. So it's quite an interesting landscape, as we can see. Okay, so the Accra Mall, what I like to call it, is the epicenter of shopping in Ghana with over 70 shops. We truly are the mall with it all. The mall was commissioned in 2008, and we can say it's actually one of the most modern shopping centers in West Africa and the first large-scale shopping center in Ghana. Anybody that comes to Accra Mall will find something of their need. So we have everything ranging from lifestyle, food, cinema, banking, telco. We even have our own in-house radio station, so shout out to Y107.9 FM. And then we also have the pharmacy and Forex Bureau. This goes to show to you how far Ghana has moved on. I didn't mention in my previous slide that the retail industry is still dominated by our open air markets. And I think it's important to note that I do not believe that these open air markets will die. I mean, can you imagine a world or a Ghana without, you know, your big players like your Makola market or your Kejitia market, which still takes part of the retail industry in Ghana. So we fast forward all the way to April 2020, and I'm showing you this picture of me and my wonderful team at Accra Mall with Jacob Freedom Caesar, who is the founder of the Freedom Movement. And this was his initiative, and we saw initiative to help curb the spread of COVID-19. And where we are putting certain measures in place, like a wash basin outside our entrances to be able to make sure that customers are safe when they visit our mall. So if I look at the impact of COVID-19 on the Accra Mall, especially during the month of April, we saw an 80% decrease in foot traffic during the lockdown, especially. As it stands right now, the Accra Mall is yet to recover, and we're currently standing at a drop of 24% in foot traffic. And significantly, like I said, we used to have 18,000 daily visitors before the lockdown, especially on the weekday. But as it showed that when we were on lockdown, we went to at least less than 1K visitors daily during the lockdown. Post-lockdown, what I can say is that shoppers have changed their behavior, and shoppers are only buying what they deem as essential. And we can see significantly that there is a decrease in disposable income. Other obvious impacts on us is obviously loss of revenue. When shops are shut, it means that tenants are not trading, retailers are not trading, so obviously there's significant loss of income. What we may see is that the smaller stores are actually suffering because of, you know, financial assistance, so some of them may not be able to recover from this. And we've seen, especially for some of our retailers, a disruption in the supply chain, meaning that because of land borders or factories closing across the world, they haven't been able to receive their goods. So obviously that significantly disrupted the supply chain. Okay, so I will talk to you guys about the road to recovery. As you've heard time and time again, the COVID-19 was unprecedented, never heard before in the history of the world. And here we find ourselves having to try and recover from this novel coronavirus. One of the first things that we did as Accra Mall is we put our people first. And especially in moments of uncertainty and concern, we wanted to assure our people that we were with them in terms of their welfare, their physical and psychological care as well. And we made sure that we protected all the jobs of our workforce, our inner workforce, including the service providers that we work with. We also encouraged our tenants to do the same because we thought it was at the time, premature to be able to predict where we were going to be. Accra Mall for many years has been resilient in terms of the economic crises that the country has faced over the few years. So we were confident that we were going to make it through. And now what we did is we made sure that safety was a priority for the shoppers. From the middle of March, we ensured that we fogged the mall and disinfected all the shops at the same time. We ensured mandatory hand washing and sanitizing, and we are enforcing strictly the no mask, no entry directive that has been implemented by the government. We made sure that during the lockdown, we encouraged the essential services that were mandated, that were exempted from the restrictions in the month of March and April to keep open, and we assisted them in that regard by making sure that they were able to implement things like physical distance within their shops, and also controlling the crowd. As a property manager, it became our responsibility to make the business sustainable. And in consideration of the pandemic, what we did is that we offered some rental reliefs to our tenants to be able to ease the burden of the pandemic. And then also we have to work very closely with government officials. So we continue to seek counsel with government institutions to navigate our way through the uncertainties that we found ourselves in during this pandemic. So I come on to my opinion on what I believe the future's retail is. The truth of the matter is that the world of retail has been permanently changed along with other industries because of the coronavirus. And I actually believe that physical stores will have to adapt and evolve to enable customers to keep coming back. I also strongly believe that there's opportunity within crisis. And this is where I believe that technology, new technologies will stimulate the shopping experience. Many a times people ask me, Denise, do you think that shopping malls will die because, we've seen the rise in e-commerce? And I constantly say to them, no. What I believe that the future is going to offer us is a hybrid of offline and online. And I think Bennett touched on this briefly in his presentation. Hybrid is definitely the future. And it's also creating an opportunity for concept stores, meaning that when you do go into a shop, it is not just about the regular transaction of picking something off the shelf, going to the till and paying for it. It will now have to be about an experience that you experience in the shop. We've seen across the world global brands shutting down in what they like to call smaller markets. So we've seen international brands leave or shut down as a result of the coronavirus or because of other economic challenges. However, I believe that this is a massive opportunity for local brands because as the smaller ones shut, this is the time for them to dominate the industry in which they found it pretty difficult to compete in. I also believe the future of retail gives an opportunity for interregional trade, in the sense that this is a chance for Africa as a continent to be able to trade freely and more fairly within our African continent between different countries, especially in food and beverage, especially in even fashion and textiles. I think what we've seen in recent years is innovation of how industry has developed within Africa. I'll take my hat off to the Jumia and their team. Online and e-commerce is rising. However, I strongly believe that there are infrastructural challenges, and I believe my fellow panelists have touched on this already. These include things like simple addressing systems, payment options, the education system. And the fact of the matter is that digital will never be able to offer the human element to things. They can create new technologies. To add an enhanced version of what we experience. But the truth of the matter is that on this earth, we're dealing with human beings, and human beings will constantly crave that human touch. So the digital will never be able to replace going and sitting down and having a meal in a nice restaurant with your friends or with your family. It will never be able to replace the feeling of walking into a perfume store and trying out that fragrance and actually smelling it. So it goes back to that there are still some challenges that online will have to face. It will only enhance what we call physical retail, but I don't believe that it will get rid of it completely. What we may see is that perhaps there will be a slowdown or a decline in the development of new shopping centres. Who knows? Because, you know, there's other ways that people can shop. But I believe that one way that we can save physical stores is, you know, people like places like Accra Mall can regain the trust of its shoppers. And I think that's the most important thing that people want to hear. They want to understand that when they visit your shop, that they're going to be safe, because that you're dealing with the health aspects of what the coronavirus has showed us so far. Lastly, Ghana's growing middle class, comprising of discerning and financially empowered retail shoppers, is another driving force behind the rapid growth of this retail sales sector. And I want to expand on this point a bit more. The retail industry in Ghana, especially in terms of the shopping mall environment, is still pretty young. We're still quite far behind in terms of what's going on in other markets across the world. And there are still people that are growing and that would want to experience this. So I think it would be premature to shut down the shopping mall environment, but I definitely believe that you know, as the middle class grows, there is more opportunities for physical retail to continue to grow. Okay, so thank you very, very much. You can follow me on LinkedIn for many, many insights. I hope I have been interesting for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Denise, for your presentation. I have a ton of questions for all of you, Joseph, Paddy, Denise, and Bennett. But since, Denise, you just finished your presentation, I will start by asking you. The first question is asking, how can the local retail outlets in Ghana take advantage of COVID-19 to boost their businesses to the level of the ShopRite and the game shops, for example?
The one difference that Game or ShopRite have is obviously significant funding. And I think Joseph mentioned this just previously, that unfortunately we find ourselves in an environment where lending opportunities and funding opportunities are very limited. And that's the difference between a local retailer and the international retailer, the significant funding that they do find themselves, find themselves available to, or have available to them, sorry. But it goes back to my point earlier where I said that some of these brands, big brands are shutting down. And as they shut down, I believe that it is an opportunity for the smaller brands to, you know, seek other forms of lending that they could, well, let's say, I think other forms of lending, and the governments will need to get more creative and innovative as to how they're going to sustain these businesses. Because the truth of the matter is, without these big brands, if they all fail, the Ghanaian economy can only rely on what's available locally. So it only makes sense for the government to be creative in how they can support these businesses to grow to the level of a ShopRite or a Game. I hope I've answered your question.
Well, in the light of the pandemic, would Accra Mall consider its own e-commerce platform to feature all your tenants? Is it something that is in the works?
Not so far, but I do definitely think it's something that we can consider. What we need to realize is that there are a variety of retailers that are under one roof, that is Accra Mall. So we need to effectively manage that. I'm sure Bennett would agree, there's a lot of hard work that goes into producing an e-commerce platform. For us, we are shopping mall managers, so we like to see people come through our doors. So I think for us, we want to manage the experience and make the shopping experience, the physical experience, more better. We don't want to let people sit at home because we want people to join us. So I think before we used to encourage the crowd, and we still are doing that. However, what we're doing is that we're managing the crowd. We want people to come, but we want to manage it and make them feel safe and comfortable and enjoy their shopping experience.
Are you looking to creating opportunities for local SMEs in your space, given what is happening in the country amidst the COVID-19 scare?
Yes, of course. I think that is something that we will have to look at, especially with our leasing strategies. Like I said, as in the bigger brands that you'd want to enter the African market, as they pull back in terms of their expansion plans, we need to look at how we grow into shopping malls. We've already started an aspect of that with our Future Fashion Fund, where we are assisting young and up-and-coming fashion school graduates that aspire to be retailers. And they go through a grueling process on which, at the end of it, we give them a cash prize, and we also give them a pop-up stall within the Accra Mall for them to understand and experience formal retail in a shopping mall setting. So it is something that we definitely are considering, are doing, and we are looking forward to ways that we can expand this to other retail categories.
Well, we have a question from an anonymous attendee. I do not share this view. He's asking that, how do you reduce the myth that items sold in the modern trade outlets are expensive?
I agree with you, Fatih. I have to.
It's relative.
I have to try and draw the line and speak safely here. The fact is, each retail environment, whether it's your open air market, whether it's your plaza, whether it's your high street store, whether it's your shopping mall, every audience and their customer. And unfortunately for us, we're not going to be, as much as we try hard, not everyone's going to be our customer. And that's just the harsh reality that we face. However, as we try and other developers come into the country, you'll see that there are different types of malls that are being built to suit the demographic around it. In particular, has always positioned itself as a premium mall with premier brands, and that premium, unfortunately, is sometimes on the price tag of certain retailers. We, as property managers, do not control price. It's down to the retailer. So, like I say, in this world, there's many opportunities and varieties that one can choose from. And I just reiterate the point that unfortunately, not everybody's going to be our customer. And if you aren't our customer, we can only hope that one day you aspire to be our customer, so that you can patronize us.
Well, a final question, and then we'll move on to Bernard and Mr. Joseph Paddy. Want a bit of education on what concept stores are and how can Ghanaian startups use them to promote their businesses. So the question is, what are concept stores?
Okay, so concept stores are stores that primarily focus on shopping experiences. So you will not see many products on the floor. What you'll find just is more of an experience. So you'll find that in America, a fashion store, for example, and there aren't much items on the rail. However, they've created mirrors that can use, with the use of technology and AI, that you can stand in front of and you'll be able to see how an outfit looks in front of you. You'll be able to walk into a hairdresser's and you are having an experience, you're having a glass of champagne while your hair's getting a blow dry. Concept stores are literally about the experience of the brand, and you're letting them feel it in the physical space with less product. I hope I've answered.
Thank you very much, Denise. I have a few questions for Bennett, if you can hear me. The first question from us says, based on Jumia's success, what can emerging e-commerce platforms do to build trust and patronage? Bennett.
Okay, that's a brilliant question. So emerging platforms should first of all set a basic mission. You should have a mission for your business. So e-commerce is about doing business online, is about sales online, but you should be able to come up with a solution. I mean, whatever business you're operating should be tailored towards offering a solution to a challenge or a problem that we are facing at the moment. So if you look at what Jumia has done, the impact that it has been able to create, we talk about jobs. Jumia has been directly involved in employing over 5,000 people through its activities. We allow local sellers to increase their exposure, and it encourages them to hire more staff as well to support their production and distribution. If you look at local companies as well, Jumia enables over 110,000 SMEs across Africa to reach new consumers. So what we offer, I was very happy Dennis was talking about it. The fact that over 18,000 people on a weekday used to walk into the Accra Mall.
Bennett,
I mean,
I'm sorry to cut you. If you could turn on your video because we can't see you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, can you see me now?
Okay. Yes. Sorry
about that. Yeah, so I was saying that Dennis was mentioning that on weekdays, at least 18,000 people used to walk into the mall to do business in one way or the other. Now, what the online space does for you is that it gives you exponential numbers in terms of reach, customers that you can actually reach with your business. So first of all, any emerging e-commerce platforms needs to be tailored towards providing a solution. Whatever solution you are providing has to be seamless. It has to be directed at specific problems that are occurring. So for instance, at the moment, we realize the need for businesses to grow, local businesses to grow. Hence the platform where sellers can list and sell. We also identify the need for reduced pricing, price wars and competition. So on that scale as well, we provided for customers so many vendors that are competing for these customers. So you need to adjust your prices, to run promos, and to give the best prices available, also for quality items. So I mean, they need to align as to what solution they are offering, and then how their module is. How do people purchase on their platforms? How do people pay? How do people go about their business? Who are they trying to impact? Who are they targeting? And that should be fine. That's how to grow an e-commerce platform.
Okay, this question goes to you and Denise. So you would give your take and then Denise will take over. How can we integrate members of GUTA into operations of online and modern trade business while alleviating their fears?
Okay, so I think that the basic factor here in all these discussions about GUTA, first of all, has to do with the education bit, which you've already touched on. The next step will be that the platforms that GUTA work with, the people that GUTA work with, have to understand the features of adopting or using online platforms or using certain technologies. So if they are aligned as to, okay, if I want to list my stuff on Jumia, what do I need to do? What do I need to have? I heard Joseph talking about internet in certain areas. Now, for instance, Jumia, what we've done in our regional expansion program is to make sure that, as I mentioned earlier, we have pickup stations where, so Joseph also mentioned the consolidators, how if they order stuff online, how do they get it together to ship it to the distribution points. Now, this is something that Jumia is poised and is doing at the moment. So we have pickup stations all over the country. Wherever you are, if you're a small retail person or you're a big merchant, once you place your orders on Jumia, we assemble all of these things. We call it a cart online. So you can put all your items in one cart, no matter the categories they're coming from. So if you're buying something from shoes, if you're buying mobile phones, whatever you're buying, you can put them into one, and then that particular shipment is delivered to you. So you don't need to aggregate them from different places. It's one portal. You come on the Jumia platform and you can pick all these items and they get delivered to you. So it's easier for you to use. So firstly, we deal with education, but just make sure they are aligned as to how to use these platforms and the importance of these platforms, and then how they can manage these platforms when they are listed on as sellers.
All right, Denise, how can we integrate members of GUTA into the operations of online and, for you, modern trade business while alleviating their fears?
Okay. Thank you, Fatty. I think it's, first of all, very important to understand the role that these traders play in the retail industry. I mentioned in one of my first slides that the open air markets and our informal trade still forms a large part of our retail environment. In terms of the integration, I think it's very important to note that we should focus on encouraging them not to run before they can walk, in the sense that it's the target isn't just to move from, you know, your trading stall to a shop in the Accra Mall, for example. There are many opportunities that the retail industry offers, from the high street stores to a store in the a plaza or other community shopping centers. So I think we need to educate them, like what Bennett was saying, educate them as to the steps in which that they need to take in order to formalize their trading. And then also, if you do get to the stage of Accra Mall, for us, all our tenants, we hold their hands throughout the whole time that they're with us. This includes, you know, retailer intervention, education, marketing strategies, you know, assistance in regards to how they can manage their rental payments to us. But I think essentially what we need to just realize is that there is a journey, there's a path, and I believe that everybody has a role to play in that value chain. If everybody was in shopping malls at a premium price and our shopping audience wasn't there, then there will be no use. We need to be able to create that variety for the various pockets that we have and the economic situation that we find ourselves in.
Thank you, Denise. Mr. Joseph Paddy, if you can hear me, I have a few questions for you. How open is GUTA members to partnerships with these e-commerce platforms such as Jumia? We all know that you do have concerns, but at least we know that Jumia is trusted. Are you open to working with them?
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Paddy. Please, did you get a question?
Yes.
Can you?
No, come again, please.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm asking, are your members open to having partnerships with online portals such as Jumia? At least we know that your members have trust issues and have a few challenges, but Jumia is a well-established platform. Are you open to working with them?
Yes, we are. You know, before then, I'll answer this. I want Bennett to answer some questions. So I'll ask him a question because I spoke about disputes. How do you resolve disputes among consumers and partners? Yes, it's because I remember once upon a time I bought something from eBay, and then that wasn't what I was looking for. So I complained to PayPal. PayPal paid me, and later dealt with whoever was dealing in that product. So in that area, how do they settle our dispute when a customer buy a product and that's what he's looking for? But in that, we are ready to partner any organization or company who, we remember we made a proposal to the Ministry of Trade that we should have a one-stop shop portal where business community can go in there and source every information we're looking for about a company or organization that we can transact with this portal. Whoever is there is a trustworthy business person or community that they are doing legitimate business. We made this proposal to the Ministry of Trade. We don't know what has happened. It hasn't come on board yet, but it would have been good that before anybody wants to do a business, you go into that portal and look at the background check of that person or that company or that business. Then you know he's in good standing with the Registrar General. Let me find out, Jumia is in good standing with Registrar General. He's registered his company. I can do business with him or her. But if I don't have all this information, background check on such a person, Jumia, and then I go and engage into business and something happens, now we are going to go into dispute, who bears the liability? So we wanted such people to work with, credible organizations and credible company. So if Jumia comes on board, I remember some few people have come to see us, but we were not sure of their credibility. So we were finding it difficult to come on board with them. With this same online, they wanted to put our product on their online portals so that when people look for it, they will come and get the goods and then distribute it for us and bring us the money. But how sure are we with those organizations? So we were looking at security aspect of that. So if Jumia is coming on board, then we know we do a background. If like we have this portal, would have just go in there. Let's do a background check on Jumia and know they are credible. They have all the requirements that they needed to do business. Then why not? We can be on board with them. And I also spoke about cost of doing business online. Just imagine my tomato seller in Accra and the tomato farmer in Boko. The Boko man has produced the tomato. The seller is in Accra here. You want to do online business with a person. So then the one in Accra said, "Oh, can you take a snapshot of your tomato so that I'll let Jumia people come and pick it and bring it to me. I don't need to come. I'll send you mobile money." But this man has how do you call them? They call them yam phones or whatever. He hasn't got an Android phone because I think Android phone is expensive. You know, so these are some. So the woman has to travel from here to Boko to go and see they are not rotten tomatoes before he brings it down. So the cost component is also a factor that we need to. We don't know how they are collaborating with the telcos to make sure the cost component of data comes down for businesses. These are some of the few things we're looking for. But we are ready to partner anybody who is want to come on board. Provided you are credible, then we can do business with you. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Paddy. Bennett, I'll ask you one last question and then we'll take your final remarks, all our panelists. In the wake of COVID-19, does Jumia have any package for SMEs looking at the high cost involved in getting on your platform? I don't know about the cost. You can share that with our participants.
Okay. All right. So first of all, let me address the issue about costs in getting on board Jumia. So let me state very clearly that it is actually free to sign up to list your shop on Jumia. As every business operates, once we are in the business of helping you develop and to grow your business and to offer you the platform where you can access more customers, we actually make a few returns on the orders that we bring to you, the orders that you make through our platform. So there's no charge actually when you are listing up or signing up on Jumia. There's no fee that you have to pay to join or sell on Jumia. It's when we bring you business, it's when you do business through our platform that you need to pay for. That is the one. Now, the second point here is, what do we have for SMEs? Now, basically what we've done during this COVID season is to, first of all, offer trainings for all the vendors that list on our platform. So whether it's an SME or it's a brand, we offer regular trainings to let you know what strategies you can explore, what innovations we've brought about, what technologies, what new features we've added on our apps, how we can leverage the current situation in order to reach more people and to do more business. That's what we are doing for them in terms of education. Also, what we've been able to do for them is that we, during the lockdown period, offered the free delivery service where customers could order items and get it delivered to their doorstep for free. That boosted the customers in shopping more, in buying lots of items from these SMEs and from these vendors. So there are categories on Jumia. There are several items that you can shop for on Jumia, but it's up to us as a company to make sure that everybody gets a fair bite of the cake. So everybody is exposed to the same number of customers. Everybody is exposed to the same technologies and to the same marketing innovations that we come up with.
All right. I said that was my last question, but there is protest here that I should ask one last question.
Okay.
There you go. There are reports of Jumia struggling in other markets. And how is Jumia doing in Ghana? And if you are doing well, you already mentioned, what are the key success factors that can be replicated in the markets that you are said to be struggling in?
Okay. So first of all, struggle is a bit subjective. I mean, I don't necessarily term it struggling. I believe that almost every business at this point in time, due to COVID-19, is going through a few challenges. Because of the nature of our business, we may not necessarily have to keep a lot of people working in the office. We do most of our businesses online. It's an online business, so you might not necessarily see the Jumia Ghana office operating in a full force. That doesn't mean that it's struggling. It means that due to lockdown and due to work from home principles and protocols, most of our staff are working from home. What are some of the strategies we've adopted in Ghana that has made us stand out? I mean, Jumia is currently operating in over 13 African countries. What has happened is that we've been able to put together some of the ventures in our ecosystem. So I think that went out as it made some people a bit confused as to whether some ventures are operating, whether Jumia is closing in certain countries or not. So we've identified that some of these services, especially the on-demand services, are linked. So we've been able to put them together to offer a better experience to our customers. So rather than do business, for instance, you're coming on Jumia, you want to purchase an item, you want to buy food, you want to buy groceries, you want to pay, you want to do everything. Rather than do that in several individual apps, we decided to bring all together to make a one Jumia where you log on to one portal and you have access to all of these. You can shop for food, you can shop for clothing, you can make your payments, you can get your deliveries and everything in one platform. Now, what are some of the things that Jumia has done in Ghana that has made us stand out? The impacts that we've had on people's lives. I mean, our vision is to make the lives of people better through the internet. So providing employment opportunities for a lot of people. Today, if you look at Jumia, the delivery agents, the riders from our pickup stations, those who are handling the packaging in the warehouse, lots of employment opportunities for everybody. And the fact that we are able to grow businesses means that these businesses will also expand and there will be the need for them to employ more people into the ecosystem. Another thing that we've done is to also offer the better price factor where businesses, vendors on the platform need to strategize and adjust their prices so that people will be able to buy from them. So customers are benefiting from this by having the best prices available. They have a wide variety of items to shop from different vendors, be it small brands, be it bigger brands. You have lots and lots of options from a wide range of products on our inventory to shop for. So these are some of the things that we've brought about as a company that has helped us stand out in this COVID-19 times.
All right, thank you very much, Bennett. We are now going to take your final comment, and since you are the last on the floor, we'll take yours first, and then we'll take comments from Mr. Joseph Paddy and then from Denise Asari. Your final comment.
Yes, all right. So what I would say is this, that retail in Ghana has big potential, whether online or offline. And as Dennis mentioned, it's up to us to find a common ground or to mix it up. The hybrid of both offline and online will go a long way to help us. It's better for us if we leverage all the opportunities available to us that COVID-19 has brought. COVID-19 has brought a certain opportunity for all of us to benefit from. It has brought an opportunity for people, small industries or small scale sellers to leverage on to reach more people, because there's a need for us to provide people with basic things that they need in their various homes and their offices. The avoidance of physical touch is a problem because physical touch is important in every human endeavor, but we need to make the best out of these times. So the fact that you cannot go out doesn't mean that you cannot have your items delivered to you in your home or your office. When the restrictions are eased as well, if you have the opportunity to walk into a physical shop like the Accra Mall to buy your items, there's no hindrance to that. You can as well do that. But to save time, to save cost, and to stay safe in these times, it's advisable to use online platforms and then to make the best out of it. There are businesses that should be grown, customers need to benefit, and there's a big platform for all of us. I entreat everyone to stay safe and to do good business and opportunities for everybody.
Thank you, Denise. Your final comment.
Thank you, Fatty. Once again, thank you to Global Media Alliance for this platform to be able to share our views on the digital transformation in the retail industry. I think my final remarks would be that shopping malls and physical retail spaces will still be here. they won't disappear and into the e-commerce space. We need to shopping mall developers, shopping center developers need to be innovative and understand opportunities that online and technology can do for the business. I think I want to ensure all the participants and every single shopper in Ghana that places like Accra Mall are thinking about the safety of its customers, and safety is a priority, and we can assure them that the necessary safety protocols that are at the forefront of everybody's mind during this pandemic is something that we are taking very seriously. I encourage everybody to continue to visit us. We are open for business. We are also open to supporting local businesses. So please also bear that in mind. I wish everybody to stay safe, and we hope to see you soon at Accra Mall.
Thank you, Denise. Mr. Joseph Paddy, your final comments.
Thank you, Fatih. Very grateful. I want to say a big thank you to your team, your colleagues, and for such a wonderful work you've done. It's an eye-opening for the training community. You know, GUTA is made up of sector associations. We are over 60 sector associations. So you see the haberdashery dealers, confectionery, you see used clothing, you see the Ghana electrical dealers, spare parts dealers. So we are made up of sector associations that have come together to put up GUTA. We are over 3 million in subscription. And if Jumia is going to partner this organization, it's going to be of a good help. And I want to encourage that the online portal online that they should make their work they should simplify it so that it will be user friendly. I can even stay in my shop or wherever I am and upload my product on their website, not necessarily going to hire someone else to come and then do that for me for another cost. So the simplification of their product and then user friendly is what we're looking for. And then we also want to encourage them that we should be able to partner government so that the needed revenue that government needs, so that people will be able to pay a little to develop the country. But so far, so good. I'm grateful for the panelists and their suggestions, their contributions. Very grateful. GUTA is looking forward for more of such partnership. And we believe with Fatih and your team, we are always ready when you call on us to partner you for national development. And then we are grateful for Mother Ghana. Thank you very much. And I want to say a good thank you to your listeners and your viewers all over the country and the world. We are grateful.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Denise Asari, General Manager, Accra Mall. Thank you, Mr. Joseph Paddy, Public Relations Officer, GUTA. And thank you, Bennett Otu, PRO and Communications Manager, Jumia Ghana. This is the GMA BC webinar series. This is the third edition that we have held. Today, we spoke on the issue, the new normal, unlocking digital transformation in the retail industry. And we had our experts or panelists give their views on this topic. We also would like to thank all our attendees. We are grateful. We thank you for your questions. We thank all those who are watching us on Facebook. We also thank us on ETV Ghana. Kindly do well to follow our platforms. At Official GMA is the on our online platform on Instagram, Facebook, and on Twitter at ETVGH. You can follow at ETVGH also on Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook. And Happy FM 9 FM, that is the handle on Twitter, on Instagram, and of course on Facebook. And at Y1079 FM Accra, that is YFM Accra, at Y1025 FM Kumasi, that is YFM Kumasi, and at Y979 FM in Takoradi. So you can follow all these platforms on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter. And of course, you should keep watching ETV and listen to our radio stations, YFM Accra, YFM Kumasi, YFM Takoradi, and Happy FM. And we are also online, our website, www.happyghana.com. and www.etvghana.com. And of course, the #1 event and PR company in Ghana, Global Media Alliance, organizers of this webinar series. I'd like to thank all the team members who made this happen. We thank you so much. We are grateful, and we hope to see you, our attendees. And of course, we'll be discussing other pertinent issues as and when they come up. Thank you so much, and do have a good day.
Thank you.